The Maze Runner
by James Dashner.
and it's about a young boy named Thomas who arrives in the glade, and he's very dazed and confused because he doesn't know why he's really there and doesn't know what he did to get there, and he's pretty much just a newbie in the glade. Chuck, who is the second newest member of the glade, pretty much becomes his good friend and shows him around the glade. A week into his stay, some very unusual things happen. Teresa, who is the first girl ever in the glade, arrives with a note saying that she's the last girl in person ever. Betsy, tell us more about Teresa.
Well, so when Teresa arrives, everyone is like freaking out because it's all guys, and when Teresa comes, she's the first girl, and like all she says is like she has come to trigger the changing, and then she falls into a coma. So then they take her back to like what they would call like their infirmary or hospital, and just she's kept there in a coma while the doctors and stuff take notes on her and talk, like, you know, just try to get her to wake up from her coma.
This is all a day after Thomas has arrived. A couple days after Thomas is attacked by Ben, who just got out of going through the changing. What is the changing, Betsy?
The changing is when you get stung by a griever. And the grievers are this like slug-like creature that live out in the maze. And so if you get stung by a griever, it like puts some sort of like poison in your body that makes you go through the changing, where it's just kind of this period of time where you start to get some of your memories back, and then you kind of like go through this like spastic coma kind of thing.
Thomas really doesn't seem to fit in the glade. He really doesn't know what to do or anything. But a week after he arrives, two friends of his, Albie and Mino, get stuck in the maze, which the maze doors close every night, and they had very little time to get back, and they didn't make it back. So Thomas decided to go in and look for them, and he ends up getting stuck in the maze. But he finds Mino and Albie, and he has to spend the night in the maze with the grievers, which he has to actually take Albie, because he's stung by the grievers, and he has to take him and put him in the vines on the wall. So, and then he has to run away from the grievers, and him and Mino actually find a way to the cliff where they trick the grievers into falling off the cliff.
So another thing about the cliff is basically it's just every day when the maze runners go out, they run different sections of the maze, and each day they just find the ending is just this cliff, and like so they run back. So Thomas kind of is curious about this cliff, and so he decides, well, this might have something to do with getting out of the maze. So this kind of starts the end. In the end of the book, by the way, this is like a big spoiler alert, so if you don't want to know what the end of the book is, you might want to close your ears or something. So the doors don't close one night. And so that leaves the grievers out just to come in as they please. And so they get a message from the grievers that say they're going to take someone each night that they're there. So then this really kind of motivates Thomas to figure out how to get out of the glade. And so Thomas decides that to take all these sketches that the maze runners do right after they come back from where they run in the maze and just like trace them all together. And he finds out that once you trace them all together, they make letters. And these letters are like, they're just a code. And the code is the code is float, catch, bleed, death, stiff, push. And so he just decides, well, why don't we just take a chance and go through this griever hole? So he takes all the gladers and they go through this griever hole, but before they can do that, they just start like, they have to fight off all these grievers, and they do lose a couple people. So they get into the griever hole, and once they get into there, lo and behold, there is a computer there. So they type in the code, and this door opens. And they go down the door, and where the book ends is there's just a bunch of the maze creators sitting right there. And then they're just like standing right there in front of the creators. So that's pretty much the summary of The Maze Runner. So now I guess we'll give our recommendation of the book. Jenna, what did you think of the book?
I really liked the book. It started off kind of slow and weird, and then as they spent the night in the maze, it got really exciting and kind of creepy.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was very suspenseful, and I think it catches your attention really quickly, and it's one of those that like you don't want to put down and you just want to keep reading. So I would definitely give this book a very high rating on my list.
Action!
Where? How am I supposed to get out of this place?
Action.
Where am I? What's going on? What is... What? Where am I? What? What is going on? What? Is she alive? Wicked is good? What is that supposed to mean? Hello? What is going on?
Wait. Action! Ben! Ow! Brother! Action!
Albie! What's wrong? Here. Come here. What is this? What does this mean? Wicked? What is that supposed to mean?
Action! Graver! Roar. Action!
Do you think we should jump?
I don't know, man. Just stand up out of the box.
Genna, there you go. There you go.
What is going on? What's going on? Is she alive? Is she alive? It is good? What?
My arm!
What is that supposed to mean? What? Genna, that's just a little too creepy. No, no, Genna, no. No knives for Genna. You broke the box. Like, honestly, what happened?
I fell.
Of course.
Still-
Genna. I think my cat is crying. Hi, Kitty. Hi.
I don't like you, cat. I will eat you for breakfast.
Is that the one that scratched you?
No, that's a nice one.
We look like creepers. Oh yeah.
Okay. Think we're ready to.
Come back up here. We gotta show Jenna's battle room.
Cat's tucked.
Be like Creeper.
Graver!
Ow, my butt hurts. Yeah.
That's a blooper now.
Oh, I'm sorry.